re-recorded and uploaded for my new viewers.
So if you've been in the audio or home theater game for a while, I know you've heard or have been told to run more than one sub. Go dual subs, run multiple subs, get 4 subs. You've either been told that before or you've heard that before. And so in this video today, we're going to talk about why that's still a good thing to do, but why it's not as easy as just buying 2, 3, or 4 subs and putting it in your room. It's a lot harder than that. But let's start off with why even go dual or multiple subs in the first place before we talk about the problems that it can cause. First off, everybody says go dual because we want an even response around the room. When you have one sub, it may sound good in one spot. But if you have multiple seatings or multiple rows of seatings, that bass varies. Here in my room, I'm sitting right now on the edge of the couch and there is 0 bass right here. But if I just sit back just a little bit, literally amplifies the bass several dBs. It is a lot louder right here than it is right here. It's a lot louder right here than it is right here. So even the slightest little wiggle that you make changes the bass response. Having 2 or more subs helps even out that bass across seats. A lot of people say on my comment section or in emails, oh, I don't need more than 1 sub. I have 1 sub right now and it sounds good in my spot. Okay, fair enough. You might be right. But let's say it's a long day at work and you just want to lounge. Maybe this spot where your head's at doesn't sound good, but maybe you just woke up on your day off and you're energetic and you want to sit like this and watch a movie and it sounds good here. That's great. But let's say you want to lay down because your back hurts and you want to kind of spread out this way. Well, the bass changes depending on where you go, even if it's just your seat. So even you out there with 1 sub can benefit from having another. Now, not only does having more than 1 subs even out the bass across, the seating listening position or the whole room in general, but it also adds a little higher level of dB. You get a little volume boost when you have more than 1 sub. So even if you don't care about the bass being even across multiple seats, even if it's just you sitting there, if you like bass, if you add more than 1 sub, you actually get it between a 3 and 6 dB boost of bass in your room without having to turn the volume up. So you can either keep the volume where it's at and gain 3 to 6 dBs, or you can kind of dial the volume back and take some headroom off of your subwoofer, strain them a little bit less, work them a little less hard. So there's multiple reasons why you should go duals, but it's not just as easy as putting 2 or 3 or 4 subs in a room. Let's talk about that. So in case you're not a subscriber or a fan of K-Pace Guy, first off, shame on you. But in case you're not, let me show you what's going on in my small little apartment. This is my main sub here, the Rhythmic G25HP. You can see there's not a lot of space in the front of the room, but this is where it's placed, kind of a little bit away from the corner, in between the center and the left speaker. But that's not the only sub that I have. I also have one here, kind of in the mid wall towards the outer parts of the room here. That is the Definitive Technology DN10 subwoofer. And then there's a third one actually too. This is the new arrangement to the system. This is the Ultimax 15, the Rhythmic sub. Be sure to look down below in the description for a link to how I built this. This is my 3rd sub that's meant to perform very similarly to the Rhythmic, but most importantly, there's 3 subs in here. And check out where they're placed. We have one where you mainly see subs placed in between one of your front speakers in the center. It's typically where you see a sub. Now the problem is when you see a dual sub setup, you typically see one here and one there, kind of symmetrical, right? Which looks aesthetically pleasing, but doesn't do too much for you as far as filling the room with bass and making it even. Unless you have a very wide stage where you can put 1 sub here and 1 sub way over there, then maybe you get the benefits of dual subs. But if you have them as close as, maybe if I put 1 here and 1 here, I wouldn't really gain anything out of, getting even response. So look where they're placed. One's here, one's mid-wall over here, and then one's near field behind the couch. And you may be thinking, dude, the room's too small for 3 subs. Well, that's the thing. Going dual or more subs isn't because your room is big or because you need a lot of bass necessarily. It's because you want that even response. Each of these subs have been placed in a specific spot that sounds good here. Everywhere, even a little bit here, a little bit here, but each sub plays a big role. This sub, my main sub, sounds really good where I'm sitting, but doesn't sound that great there. Sounds really good here, but doesn't really sound good in this area. So that's where this one comes in. This one sounds really good here, sounds really good there, and it's kind of there. Well, that's where this one comes in. This one's a near field sub that sounds really good in that spot, really good in that spot, and really good in this spot. Not so much here. And so each sub fills in where the other one falls off. And that's the point of having dual subs or more. Like I said, it's not as easy as just putting subs in your room. You have to not only place them correctly, but you have to have them set correctly when it comes to phase. Phase is, in short, I'll link a video that I made about phase, but phase is kind of the partnership, the conversation between each of your speakers. Phase controls which direction your sub is moving as far as the driver goes. And sometimes if you have multiple subs, you can run into phase issues, meaning some of your subs are canceling out other subs in your system, which may cause a null in your seat. When you flip your phase, most of the time 0 to 180, some people have variable dials. When you play with your phase, you start to blend your subs not only with themselves, but with your main speakers as well, so that everything reaches your ear at a good volume at the same time. Phase changes the delay of the driver so that you're not canceling out a lot of your frequencies that are trying to reach your ear all at the same time. So each of these subs are not only placed where they sound optimal, but they are also phase aligned so that none of these subs are canceling each other, at least not here where it's most important. So you may think that you don't need dual subs. You may think that you don't have a room big enough for dual subs, but I promise you that you do. I promise you that you do. So if you're looking for subs or you have some subs now, I recommend getting dual. Start with 2. I tell all my subscribers no less than 2, because you want that even response and you get a dB gain, so a little bit more volume to your bass. Also takes a little bit of the work off that single sub now that you have 2 helping with all the information. If you can fit more in your room, there's never a problem with that. I think you should put as many as reasonably possible in your room. But be prepared to do a lot of phase aligning, be prepared to play for a lot of placement, make sure you play if volumes don't have one sub louder than the other. There's a lot of work that goes into having more than one sub, which is what they don't tell you when they say go dual subs. You want to sit down and make sure you can dial each of these subs in so that they perform optimally, because sometimes having too many subs just cancels out all the bass, and it's worse than it would be if you just had one. So don't let people tell you go get dual, go get 3, go get 4 if you're not prepared to do the work to integrate these into your system. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Dual is definitely not overrated. Multiple subs isn't an overrated thing. I highly recommend you go out and add a second, third, or fourth pair of subwoofers to your home theater. It will definitely change the overall bass response, the cleanness, the clarity, the impactfulness of your bass. It'll change your whole home theater, so long as you're prepared to do the work to make it work, make it fit. So with that being said, guys, go down to the comment section down below and let me know how many subs are you running, and if you're not running more than one, tell me why. Leave that down below in the comment section, hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next video. K-Bass Guy out. Peace.